Hi class 3, welcome to your maths lesson for today. Today we're going to be continuing to think about capacity and volume, but because you have covered lots and lots of the most important parts earlier this week, we're now going to be applying our skills and doing some problem solving. So today it's going to be some word problems, and then tomorrow we're going to focus on some reasoning questions. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share, as always, the success criteria and learning objective with you, and then we'll have a little look at some problems together and we'll go through them. We'll probably have we'll do a bit of a kind of stop and start where you can go off and spend a bit of time solving by yourself and then come back and we'll look at the answers together. And then for task 2, you're going to go off and you're going to go and have a go at a sheet with some different types of differentiated word problems, and you can obviously choose whichever level you feel is appropriate. And then there is an extension if you're feeling really confident. So let me just make sure I've got the right thing. So today our learning objective is going to be to solve word problems including volume and capacity. We're going to be thinking about breaking a question down into smaller steps. It's no different to when we think about word problems in any area of maths learning. It's always about looking at how we can sort of, like I say, break things down to make things simpler for yourself, and then really using specific vocabulary to inform you of the type of maths that you need to use. So certain words, as we know, will always be giving us a clue as to what we need to do, whether we need to add, whether we need to subtract, multiply, divide, what is it we need to do. And then lastly, if you do need to, some of these problems you might need to, and then definitely later on in the the activity sheet, you will possibly need to convert from one unit of measure to another. So that will be important, and obviously you've been practicing that this week, so that shouldn't be too tricky, or if it is, then you can obviously go back and have a look at your learning from previous lessons. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. I am going to do that. It always takes a long time. There we are. And like I said, we're going to look at these questions together. The first one we're going to look at together and think about how we would work that out, what we would do, and then we'll look at the answer. And then the second and third challenge, I'll read through the question with you, and then I would like you to go off and have a go. So pause, go off and have a go. Okay, so challenge 1, it says Janine needs to fill a bucket with 2 litres, and it gives you the millilitres as well. That's obviously 2,000 millilitres of water. She has bottles which hold the following amounts. So she's got a bottle that holds 200 millilitres, one that holds 250 millilitres, one that holds 500 millilitres, and one that holds 750 millilitres. It says give 2 different ways that Janine can fill the bucket, and you may use each container more than once. So you need to think here, you're going to be probably using some addition skills. I would say a lot of it's going to be repeated addition, but you'll also, I would imagine, lots of you will be thinking to what you're going to perhaps be breaking things down. So that might be dividing the 2 litres or the 2,000 millilitres and thinking, well, I know there are some facts I might know. I know that 2,000 divided by 4, for example, is going to be 500 millilitres. So therefore, straight away, that's the one that stands out for me. I know, and that really goes back to lots of my thinking about, I know that 5 goes into 20 4 times, and that all that kind of previous maths knowledge is going to help me, so that I know that 500 millilitres is going to go into 2,000 millilitres 4 times. So straight away, I'm thinking to myself, I know that I could fill up 4 of these 500 millilitre bottles, and that would fill my bucket. That would fill my 2,000 millilitre bucket. So that's one option for lots of 500 millilitres. So you could say, again, you're using multiplication there to say. You could write it as repeated addition, which I'll show you in a moment. That's what's been done here. Let's have a think. How else should I say, could we break this down? Now, straight away for me, I'm looking at this 750 millilitres and the 250 millilitres, and I know that if I put those two together, just because, and that comes from my knowledge of knowing that 75 and 25 makes 100. So that tells me that if 75 and 25 makes 100, then 750 and 250 makes 1,000. So therefore, if I did that twice, because I want to make 2,000, I would need 2 lots of 750 millilitres and 2 lots of 250 millilitres to make my 2,000 millilitres. All right. Another option, if we look here, I know that 200 goes into, sorry, I'm gonna think about it. To be honest, the first thing I think to myself is I know that 20 goes into 100 5 times. So therefore, I also know that 20 goes into 200 10 times. So therefore 200 millilitres is going to go into 2,000 millilitres 10 times. Okay, so we would need 10 lots of the 200 millilitre bottle to fill the 2,000 millilitre bucket. That does sound like a lot of talking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the ways I've just spoken through, basically. And this has been written out as repeated addition. Like I said, you could write it out as a multiplication number sentence, if that helps you, or even a division number sentence, because that will be still showing your understanding. But just here, just like I said, that was the last one I talked about, wasn't it? 200 millilitres, 10 lots of 200 millilitres is going to make 2,000. And I talked also, didn't I, about the 4 lots of 500 millilitres is going to make 2,000, because I know that 500 and 500 is 1,000. So therefore, if I do that twice, that's going to be 2,000. And there are other ways of doing it too. Okay, I hope that's not confused you. Unfortunately, I haven't got the pen that Mrs. Smurthwaite has on the screen, so I couldn't break that down further for you there. So by thinking about that example, we're going to have a look at another one now, and then I want you to pause and go off and have a go at what it's asking you to do. So challenge 2, Lucian needs to fill a bucket with 1 litre 500 millilitres, which is 1,500 millilitres. He has containers which hold the following amounts. He has a 100 millilitre container, a 200 millilitre container, a 250 millilitre container, and a 300 millilitre container. So just like before, we need to give 2 different ways that he can fill up the bucket, which is 1,500 millilitres this time. So how can you work with these numbers to create exactly 1,500 millilitres? So you need to pause there, go off, have a go, and then when you're ready, unpause me and we'll look at the answers. Okay, so if you've come back, well done. So have a look here. The first one they have done is they've done 100 15 times, because we know that 100 times 15 will be 1,500. So they've done 15 lots of 100 millilitres, and that's repeated addition. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lots of 100 millilitres. Okay, then here we have got, see, I would work this way. So I know I've got 500 here, 500 millilitres here, so 2 lots of 250 millilitres, that's 500. And then here is 5 lots of 200 millilitres, so that's going to be the 1,000 millilitres, that's the 500 millilitres. So 1,000 add 500, that gives me my 1,500. And you can see there are some other ways of doing it also. So I'm sure you may have come up with some of these, and I believe that these aren't the only ones, so you may have come up with some different ones, so well done if you have. Okay, so similarly, we're going to just do that again. I'll read the question, then you can pause me. So challenge 3, Siobhan needs to fill a bucket with 2 litres 500 millilitres, which is the same as 2,500 millilitres. She has containers which hold the following amounts: 250 millilitres, 300 millilitres, 500 millilitres, and 750 millilitres. Okay, give 2 different ways that Siobhan can fill the bucket. And again, you can use the same container more than once. Okay, so if you want to pause me now and have a go at that one. Okay, if you've come back, well done. So these are just some of the ways that you might have made your 2,500 millilitres. Okay, so we've got here, let's have a look, sorry, at that second one, that's my eyes being drawn to the second one, because I think to myself, that's the way my brain works. I think, yes, that's 1,000, 500 and 500 is 1,000. Another 500 and 500 is 2,000. So 4 lots of 500 is 2,000, plus the extra 500 mil. There we go. So then here, we've got a slightly different way of working it out. In fact, there's lots of other ways people have worked that out. Okay, and here, this is possibly the longest one. So that's, if you think about it, your brain will think about it in different ways, but the 250 plus the 250 is going to be 500. So I'm thinking to myself, that's 500 there, that's 500 there, so that makes up 1,000. And you can also think of it as, I know that 250 goes into 1,000 4 times, so that's my 1,000 there. Got another 1,000 with that one, that one, that one, and that one, so that's 2,000, plus the extra 500 mil is being made by the 250 add the 250. Okay, so there are so many different ways that you could do that. So I hope that has helped, and actually I know that those problems were all very similar and that you didn't have necessarily, that was all about addition, although like I said, we definitely did, I know I did, I used my multiplication skills and my division skills and lots of my facts that I already know. That helped me a lot. And the questions that you're going to have a go on in task 2, which we'll have a look at now. Actually, sorry, I'm not going to make another video for that because it is quite self-explanatory. But the ones you're going to have a look at there, they're slightly different. You might need to do some different things, but you'll hopefully be able to kind of grasp what the question's asking you. And if you don't, there will be an additional video for those green chilies or anybody who's needing a little bit of extra help. Okay, there's my cat. Okay, thanks guys. Hope you get on all right with the sheets. And if not, like I say, do watch the extra tutorial.